Right, let's mute the mic. Put our butts over to Facebook. What do we do up here? We've got comments. There's the comments section. I don't want to share it to any groups. Cool. Alright, let's do some moon stuff. I think tonight we're going to shoot macro. Let's get this centered up. Lovely. Very nice. Centered. Now I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a custom resolution on, custom resolution in the region of interest. Let's try 1600 by 1600. See what we get. Hello. Okay then. That's no moon. Hello, James. It's quite noisy. So I need to maybe get focused in a little bit more. Joys of having a motor focuser. Let's have a closer look. It's around about as sharp as that's going to get there. Really hard to tell when you're at critical focus. Something like that. Is the audio working properly? I've got the levels on OBS Studio showing the mic's picking up, so that's a good start. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I want it to be sort of background music, very much background music. There's a histogram, still a little high. 4 milliseconds. That's around about 50%. Ish. Frame rate we get 46 frames a second over USB 3. So that's nice. Oh, so it's now working over USB 3. Hey, sweet mate, nice one. Thanks, dude. Well, I'm still convinced the focus is as critical as I would like it. Let's go out by 1,000. Back in by 1,000 steps. Is there a contrast detection? We've got, what have we got under focus assistant? Oh, edge detection. That doesn't need to be that big. I suppose that really still any worse. Yeah, it's getting better going this direction. Up to a point. Hello Phil, you alright mate? Wasn't even going to do anything tonight. I thought, well, a quick session on the moon won't do any harm, just a way to finish off a Sunday night. I think the scene's just really crap tonight. I'm really having trouble finding critical focus. I don't think using contrast based edge detection is going to work too well on you. So that's fine. Doesn't make any difference, mate. Eyeballs. Use me eyeballs. It's nice enough on full frame. 1600 plus 1600. Make sure that's nice and centered. Do you know, I really want to visit M51 again and do some more shots on that, but I don't really want to go back there at such a short focal length because it's just not a very big target, even though it's one of the larger ones. But for an ED80 it's rather diddy with the field of view I've got at the moment. But it's such a beautiful target, like there's some really serious colour in that galaxy. The thing about having shooting a crescent moon, trying to figure out when it's centered. Not that it really matters that much. Don't close that. It's well exposed. Right, let's do 1,000 frames on that. Let's just try. Frames 1,000. Yeah, I'm just sitting up in my bedroom, as you can. Well, yeah, I've got webcam on today, so yeah, you can see. So I use Microsoft remote control for the observatory computer. So I just went down there, uncovered the telescope, turned on the observatory, and booted the computer, and just made sure everything was connected. Took the covers off the scope, the lens covers off, and came back upstairs. Oh, I see. You're going to have the is that the Arctron Retrocretchin feel? So yes, I was talking to you actually about that before, wasn't I? Because I was thinking about getting one. Should look quite nice in that. Much bigger in the frame. Right, so we've got 1013 frames there, 0 dropped. So let's have a look, see if we can get anything about the earth shine. See, I don't think there is some earth shine there, but I don't think we've got a dynamic range for it. Yes, it is the GSO one. So yeah, the GSO one. There's the TS Optics one and the Ioptron one. I think they're all the same scope, aren't they? Except I think the TS Optics one's got a slightly different focuser. Oh yeah, do you think I was? Do you reckon I was looking at buying one of them? No, I'm not too happy with that. It's a lot of it's not very contrasty here. Yeah, they are all the same, I'm pretty sure. I think there must be about 30 seconds of latency here. Why has that just suddenly jumped to 5 seconds? What on earth is it doing? Let's try an on explosion mode. Let's work it out. How is that changing instantly? I think there must be a default frame length at times, so it captures an instantaneous snapshot while it's waiting for a frame to come. But I've never seen anything in the settings about like determining how long that snapshot should be. Yeah, it's not really any different with any of the other cheapskates either. Really, the Skywatcher focusers are all pretty awful, really, unless you get like an Equinox or something. The only decent thing about the Skywatchers is they come with decent optics, and you just kind of have to sacrifice everything else. I got the upgraded Crayford focuser on my ED80, and that's certainly an improvement. And you get a rotator with that as well, which is nice, just a manual rotator. So that helps a lot with composition. I'm really trying to see if it's worth trying to bring out a little bit of detail in the earthshine here. I think there's something there to be had if it's stacked. It's just trying to figure out what sort of brightness it should be at, because the histogram's not going to be of any use. It'll just probably be absolutely cranked. Yeah, it's clipping, obviously, for obvious reasons. So to get any kind of detail in the dark side, we've just got to keep creeping up on it and see what we get. It would be nice if it didn't do that temporary frame, so I could compare one long exposure frame to the next. Yes, Pete, yes it is. I was just saying that it's set up, the observatory's down in the garden. The computer's hooked up to the main one here over LAN, using just Microsoft remote control, remote access. If I go up here, the little, you see the little thing comes up, and then I'm just using OBS to capture the main computer screen and send it out to Facebook. See what that's like. 3.69. So I don't want to start blowing out too much across this terminator line here and coming onto the dark side a bit. Yeah, I'm losing contrast around the centre of the screen here. Around here, you see it's starting to glow out here. Any ideas how I can improve contrast on that? I've got the Barda UV IR filter in at the moment for obvious reasons, and I'm just shooting in mono, so USB speed is cranked. Although I'm not going to be getting much at 3 second sub exposures. I think I might have a go at around 3 seconds. Oops. Let's see what that looks like. Let's just have a quick butcher histogram stretch. Yeah, there's something there. Not a lot. Alright, if I just capture 1,000 of those, then it gives me the data to play with. 2 sets of runs and one with the dark side exposed and one with the light, and you should then stitch after stacking later. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I'll just get a stack of. I've already got a stack of frames of the light side, and now I'm just trying to see what I can squeeze out of the dark side, so I can try and get sort of like an earth shine finish. And in a minute, once I've got all the data I want here, I'll go and just get a star background from like next to the moon, or actually probably a bit further away than next to the moon, so it's not too washed out. Then I can have a nice total sort of complete image of a crescent moon with earth shine and a star background, hopefully. So I can move on to doing some stacking and editing after I'm done this as well, so we can have a play with that. It's going to take a while to capture 1,000 frames, I've just realised. I've got 3-second frames and there's 1,000 I've asked it to do, so yeah, I'll probably have to stop that after it's done a couple of hundred. How much hard disk space does this stuff take up? I can imagine 1,000 frames is a fair chunk of data. It depends on what you're doing. Obviously in this case I am doing 1,000 frames, but I'm also not using the whole sensor. I am using my sensors like micro 4/3 kind of size, but I've got that region of interest down to 1600 by 1600. You can see over the right hand side here you've got the ROI selection, and this is like the frame that I'm using compared to the actual size of the sensor, so it's a lot less, and it does sort of take up less space. So I don't know, let's have a look at the data we've got. If I go over to Nina Captures, not Nina Captures because I'm not using Nina, I'm using SharpCap. What's today's date? It is the 18th, or that'll be that one. Moon. That's the individual fits. So we're doing that, I think. Just set. Yeah, so that's 1,000 frames. Oh yeah, of course it's going to be doing individual frames until it stitches it together in an SER file. So yeah, complete file of 1,000 frames is only 2.41 gigs in that size, so it's not too bad if I'm not using the full frame. Yes, Phil, you have a good one, mate. I'll catch you later. So yeah, it's not too bad. It depends what you do. I've got a 4TB hard drive on my main editing PC, and that's about 3/4 full after about a year or two, or about just over a year. So it's not too bad. I'll have to look at getting some more at some point. It's intensive for like compared to like average use, but not compared to like if you're like if you're a YouTuber or something and you're doing videos like daily. It ain't going to be much compared to that. 5.5 hours for 1,000 frames. Depends. No, yeah, I was going to say it actually only takes a few seconds, depending like on your actual exposure time. And so in this case, my exposures are 3 seconds. So to take 1,000 frames, it's pretty slow. So I'm going to abort once I get to about 100 frames on this. But the other ones, there were about 4 milliseconds. So you get the 1,000 frames in less than a minute. It's not too bad at all. The camera's. I completely forgot to check the temperature of the camera. It's at -20 now, but I'm not sure if it was at -20 for the last batch. Hopefully that will say in the information these captures, I bet it'll just tell us what the temperature was set to. Oh no, temperature -20 and cooler power was at 52%, so yeah, we were actually at the correct temperature. So you did process the files on your beast rig or the CPU down the temperature. So I physically go down there and I've got an M.2 drive around here somewhere. Yeah, that's an M.2 SSD. Just a SATA one, not an NVMe drive, and I take that down and plug that into the observatory computer. I get a it varies between, it's not very stable. I don't know if it's something to do with the PCIe lanes on that motherboard, but it starts off at about 300 megabytes a second and then drops very quickly down to about 120 megabytes a second, and I just plug that in and yeah, copy the data and bring it back up here. I do have a NAS drive, but at the moment it's got like a random mix of old hard drives, whatever I had lying around at the moment, so it's like super slow to copy data over to. But I could physically do that and have the data up here without even leaving the room if I wanted to, but it would take like an hour to do, so for what it takes I just go downstairs and go and get it, it's quicker. There we go, we've got about 100 frames of that now, so let's stop that. Let's have a look. We should now have a complete. Is it done stitching it together yet? What I'll do then, because it might be because I stopped it. Yeah, it's saved it as a fits file. Oh, it's on auto. It's like, no thanks, I want an SER please. So yeah, okay, I guess I'll do that again. But yeah, it would be nice to do 10 gig home networking. I don't really know anything about networking. Like, I put in a switch recently just so I could hardwire everything here, and like I didn't even know to do that before. I had to like try and learn all the networking stuff to get all this hooked up. And the Ethernet here like is all, I've set it up so it's all power, not power over Ethernet, so it's power line, because I've got no way of running Ethernet from the router downstairs to up here or out to the observatory, so it's all power line, but it actually works really well. So, but also of course my network runs over that too, so I don't know if that's a limiting factor. It doesn't seem like the actual connection speed doesn't seem too bad, it's just the speed of the mixture of hard drives in my NAS itself that's actually restrictive for me here. How am I calling it? That cold on the camera. So the camera P is it's got a Peltier cooler system built into it, so there'll be like a double stacked set of thermoelectric coolers attached to the back of the sensor, and it just uses that. And it works really well. I can cool down to -40 degrees off of ambient, but just so I can maintain the same temperature all along, I always shoot at -20, and noise is negligible. I think that's a star we can see next to the moon here. Don't know. Let's have a look at Stellarium, see what's there. Jesus, getting a bit. I reckon it's that one. I think 33054. Because that'll be. Where's the position? Yeah, it's this one. This star is the one we can see here. That's cool. Still 42 frames. Oh, I just realised I've run out of frame. I'll stop that and reset that. Let's get this back in position. That'll do for a few seconds. Okay, maybe not fast enough. That will do. How is the microphone audio? Is everything nice and clear? Is the music nicely sort of like quiet compared to my voice? I'm not really too up on sound design and stuff, so maybe that's one for you, Charlie. There we go. Just to go east a bit. There. Let's go back to 3 seconds. That's more like it. Right, and this time I'm going to change it to 100 waves as well. There we go. These are SCR file. Right, so yeah, cool, off we go. So, MikroTik is really cheap for 10 gigabit. I don't know what that is. I've done tech on CPU and GPU before, power hungry, but yeah, it stays cold. Also, condensation becomes an issue as well once you go sub-ambient. But actually, it's not really a problem on the camera. Some people do have actual resistive warmers on the window in front of the sensor to stop that from dewing up, but I don't have any problems with it. And I do have dew bands actually on the around the elements in the telescope too, to make sure that they don't get fogged up. So I know that I can just sit up here and backing music is louder. Cool. Okay. What we can do then is I will drag that down a little bit. And there. That should be a bit more. I'm showing minus 40 decibels there. Is it minus? Yeah, it's hovering around the minus 40 decibels mark, whereas my voice is coming out around minus 20. I was thinking about getting a USB mic at some point soon, rather than I'm using an analog mic, a Rode video mic Go at the moment, and it seems to be okay. It's certainly better than any headset mic, so have I missed any? I know you can ask any all the noob questions you like, Charlie. It's kind of why I do the stream for, really. It's all about being evangelical, as astronomers are quite evangelical about it all. How's the image quality as well, by the way? Can you see most of what's going on the screen really well? Latvian hardcore IT hardware and software, cheap, solid, and works. I'll send you some links when I'm more with it. Yeah, condensation I found was an issue. Dew point being indoor was a factor. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can't say I'd want thermoelectric cooling on my PC that's like there. I think it could be problematic. But if you do like nitrogen, like overclocking and stuff, like that's a huge problem for those guys. So it's like watching Jay's 2 cents, and there's lots of fans blowing over everything, just trying to stop like the motherboard from getting wet is a huge issue. Which is good. Thanks, Pete. Good, excellent. Yeah, yeah. Setting up OBS Studio was a bit of a learning curve. Just figuring out like what you have to do with everything to get sort of like a half decent image out and all that jazz. .3 frames a second at the moment. It's holding minus 20 degrees at 42% power. Yes, I'm blatantly going to smoke on the live stream. Oh, I have a WhatsApp. It's the group chat. Oh, Ray, I need to send Ray a message back soon. LN2, that's it. liquid nitrogen, LH3. LH3? LH3. Oh, it can't be hydrogen, surely? That sounds wild and dangerous. Because at least with LN2, you can just pour it open. But I assume with hydrogen, you have to have some kind of sealed loop. Jay's 2 cents, I was following his world record progression when the new RTX 3000 series came out, and it was quite interesting to learn about it. I got liquid helium. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. And so liquid hydrogen doesn't like being stored or doesn't like being anything really. It's a pain in the arse. I didn't leave that stretch, did I? Where's me display histogram stretch? No, we're good, we're unstretched. I don't want stretched data. 9 frames to go, then I'll go back to a normal exposure rate once I'm finished getting this nice earth glow here. Yeah, everything open parts. Yeah, because obviously on the surface of the helium, it will sublimate, so you have to allow some of that to vent. Do they run like if they run a sealed system and they have it vented? Is that on a pressure adjusted vent? So it would get to a certain pressure and vent, or is it just like unsealed, so you've got like a vent that's just can vent any amount of pressure over atmospheric? I just realised I've got my stream metrics here. I'm running a solid 60 frames a second at 60 megabytes a second, and the audio is 161 kilobytes a second. And it's holding up pretty firmly. Pleasing. Right, looks like we're done capturing frames. So what is the time? 22:03. 22:02, that's the one up there. That one, 12:37. Cool. Right, let's go off of long exposure mode then. Bring it back down. There's a histogram for me. Let's get a nice word histogram going on here and get a better idea then. 50%. Have a little look around, see what we can get along to the little one here. I don't really know my way around the moon, so I'm afraid I can't give you much in regards to what's what on here. I'm not too experienced with lunar stuff. I mean, I could run just a direct Ethernet line, but it would have to go kind of like, I'd have to have the window open and have to have a long cable and throw it down, so it's almost more hassle than it's worth. But I mean, for the most part, everything I've got here works pretty well. It's a pretty low latency system, so I don't have too much worries. Looks like the scene's gotten a bit bad in the last few minutes. Very shimmery. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'd like to get a longer focal length refractor, so I didn't have to use such a small region of interest on the sensor. And get nice big full frame images. I'd have a much slower frame rate. So I've got getting about 46 frames a second out of this camera at the moment. I can get more. Come down. The only reason why that's not going as long as it would. It's like 1 millisecond. I can still see detail there. Incredibly sensitive, and that gain is on like 0. There's no gain on there at all. Start bringing the gain up, you see the noise coming. 1 millisecond. It's beautiful. I like seeing these peaks in the centre of craters. You see one here and see one over here, and it sort of gives you an idea of the sort of how under like a high energy impact, sort of like how liquid things become. And this one here shows it quite well. This peak in the centre of this crater here. Now we've got that data, I might as well pop over and see what we can see in colour. So obviously now you're using the Bayer matrix to bring. See, there's not much actual colour going on there. It's not really a good example of it. See, I am getting the screen door effect on the corner there. I'm wondering if there's something to do to alleviate the screen door effect there. I'll have to have a Google of that at some point. It only comes up when it's in colour, so it's going to be some sort of chromatic aberration of some kind, I reckon. This is why it's just easier to shoot in mono. So what I'll do now, I'll go back over to, actually no, I'm going to shoot in RGB, RAW 16, and I'm going to shoot in full frame size. That's the full frame. It's quite a wide field telescope. What we'll do now is we'll just have a little jolly up. We'll go. Wouldn't mind having like a subtle kind of little, yeah, maybe a globular cluster off to one side of the frame would be nice. Alright, let's bring up the, let's just minimise that for a second. Oh, I didn't need to open the, what I want is the outdoor camera so we can see the telescope. Close the lock now. Take blue stacks over there for a second. And then we'll go for a little jolly up across the sky and see if we can see ourselves a globular cluster. And I'll get my star field for this moonshot. So it's going to be effectively a stack of 1,000 frames, so 5%. I'll probably stack about 5% of 1,000 frames for the light side, and I'll probably stack like half of the 100 frames I've got for the dark side, and then I'll take a stack of like 10-second frames, maybe 15 or 20 of them or something like that for the star field. So once you've got those master frames, that'll be a composite of 3 separate images to build up this shot. So let's open up the observatory camera. It's decided to go like huge. So you can see that. Put that over here for a minute. Have a look at Stellarium, so we'll tell that to go and slew over there. Bring that up in case I have to do an emergency stop. cables are kind of just hanging off at the minute. Need to really work out a good solution for keeping them attached to the mount. Just had a notification on my phone saying there's movement on the observatory camera. I'm not surprised. Right, so we are on target. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to long exposure mode and do a 5-second exposure. We go to the usual unity gain. It's 139, just I suppose. Do we need a bit more than that? Let's do a 20-second exposure, see what we've got there. It's rather dark. Crank the gain, turn the exposure down so I can see where I'm at. Oh, there's that globular cluster, I can see that round here. So let's, what sort of frames are we getting? 0.4 frames a second. It's a little bit darker. As quick as I like. That's quick enough. Quite. Yeah, BlueStacks for the Android emulation for the CCTV worked out really well, since I don't have like full CCTV system. I've just got a little Wi-Fi cam out there. It works really well actually. It just allows me to keep an eye on things. Yeah, this globular cluster is really cool. Let's see if I can get a bit of a closer look at that. Let's do like 25-second exposure and see what we can get. Although it won't be at that gain. 50 gain-ish. We can stretch it as well. We can do a histogram stretch to make it show up. Is it doing a histogram stretch now? Oh no, it's just decided that it was going to do it at the gain that I set before, the maximum gain. Hopefully that should come down in a second. So let's do a histogram stretch on that. Yeah, so you can see nicely there's a nice globular cluster here. Just going to frame this up so it will make for a nice sort of background image for the moon. How should I have this? I think I'm just going to have to move. As long as I can see my target there and I'm getting a fairly quick refresh rate. Yeah, you two look after yourself, mate. I'll catch you next time. See you later. Right, I'll put this up in the corner here. Not too deliberately, probably. To look fairly natural. Call it that. Right, so now we'll do gain of. Let's go to 609. Go for. Let's just try see what a 60 second. No, 60 milliseconds. 60-second explosion looks like. We'll see what that. Unstretch that for a minute. We'll stretch it after it comes in and see what that looks like. Hopefully that should make for a fairly nice composition when teamed up with the moon data I've got so far. How long have we been rolling for now? About 46 minutes. Really? There we go. Stretch that simple. There's a bloody satellite in there. It's typical. Go right across that gob of the customer as well. So those are 1 minute frames. So if I do like 20 of them, only 1 minute frames. I don't want to really see after this one. I want bits frames. This is what was the name? It was M53. So we'll just call it that now. 72. It's capturing raw 16-bit fits file, 60-second expressions. Yeah, that'll look nice if I get like not near them. Get that up and running. That's actually a display histogram stretch that actually shouldn't affect the raw images coming in. Ah, well, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? I might have to do this inside Nina instead. Because I'm not guiding. Although actually there's no reason I couldn't just... I don't think I took the cap of the guide scan. Could do these shots guided. Would make more sense than using sharp cap because it's technically doing deep sky stuff. Yeah, getting star trails because unguided. Even a minute unguided's blurry, so it's not really working. What I need to do then. Right, well I've got the moon data, that's good. So we will close the camera. Close that off. We shall block the scope. There's that M53. Cool. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We can open Nina. That's finished slewing. I'm going to connect everything. Boom, it's all opened up. Well, did I? Didn't I take the cover? Nope, I didn't take the cover off. That's fine, I'll go and do that in a second. Sky is 153. Stage. Set the parameter system. Pop that there like that. There's one glob in there. Stick that up there. Place a sequence target. Diver them. Do like 20 frames of that. No, 60 seconds. Do 20 of them. When we get there, we're not going to do a focus, but we will start guiding. We'll salute the target and we will center the target. Right. I'm going to go and take the cap off the guide scope so I can see what I'm doing on. Hopefully, if I boost stacks, there it is. And then be able to see me go and visit the telescope when I get to it and go and remove the cap from it. Cat. I didn't mean to bring it inside, but hold on. Right. Let's go and tell it to go and do that. What we do. Now let's go and start a cooler. There we go. Fine, take a minute to do that. Start sequence. Off it goes. I'm not convinced that's the right. Over there, isn't it? 53. Before I went somewhere over there instead. Oh, maybe I didn't. Not that it matters. So that's just done plate solving. Plate solving and then adjusting the composition. This thing seems to have started resetting the interface layout every single time. Like even if I just go over to like Framing Wizard or something, I don't even need that. I don't need to find that. There we go, it's more like it. Halfway through the first sub, so we must be guiding. It's a bit rough. Might be something to do with the position's pretty decent. Guiding's just having a bad day apparently. Well, it's really not good guiding. Hopefully it'll calm down a little bit once the hysteresis gets a chance to do something. Yeah, so we're getting cute little globular cluster coming there. Do you know what? I'm actually going to stop that. I'm going to do that again, but this time I'm going to have it all autofocus because I want that sharper than that. Oh, charming. Okay, it's told me it crashed and was going to close out, and then didn't. Seems to be a great timing, although it's just reset the screen again. Well, and this time we'll do an autofocus routine. Typical plate solving and satellite comes through. It's going to take a minute to do an autofocus. Nice. Yep, focus routine seems to be doing its thing. That'll take a minute. What's the cooling looking? Alright, well we're definitely down to minus 20 degrees now. Get ourselves a nice HFR. So in theory, bring something like that, but upside down. Can't see that other glob in those small sub-exposures. It's like best positions around 9610. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's found critical focus now. Go back the other way. Ah, there we go. It's found its way. First 60-second exposure in. We've got clear that side. Probably sit up and sit a bit closer to the mic, really. Don't know how the sound is. Guiding still seems a bit loose. Fast and loose tonight. That's typical. This one's coming in, so I'll come over here. Let's have a quick butch over at that goblin cost. I don't know, I'll stack up the last one. That'll do, considering it's just for a background shot for a bit. So composition should be something like this, but upside down. So I just need to get me 20 of them. Good to go. You go grab the data, shut down the observatory, cover everything up, and then you can go editing the data. Oh, sick. Thanks for showing me post, Charlie. I know you're not watching, but yeah. It's looking good. The guidance soft today, and the seam's just really bad. So for whoever's just joined, I'm just collecting background data at the moment. I've already been and got some shots of the moon, so I plan on doing an earth shine shot, and the background will be this star field here. So I'm just getting some basics background stars, but there's also a nice little globular cluster in there. Let me take a closer look. There we go. Globular cluster there. There is a fainter one further up in the frame somewhere as well. That'll come out in post-processing. That's an open cluster. I don't know which one that is. What's that say? NGC 5053. Nice. Guiding is trash. All over the place tonight. Normally guide under an arc second, around about's an arc second, 0.9. But tonight it doesn't feel it. For whatever reason. Who knows? Halfway through getting those 20 frames. Almost like I need a second telescope to go and have a wander around while I'm doing this. Mind you, there's always Stellarium. See what else is up tonight. Where's Leo going? Wow, Leo's already crossed the meridian this early. Time March is 4th. Shot this not long ago. Leo triplet. It's a nice area. I do definitely want some longer focal lengths for Galaxy Season, because there's not a lot around at the moment. Not with the, I mean, most of the Milky Way stuff's like kind of hovering around here, around the houses, which is a pain. I mean here, in this windows, you can just see the glow from my graphics card. I wouldn't mind popping and do that at some point. I don't think I've done the Fossil Footprint Nebula yet. I'll shoot that in narrowband, hydrogen alpha and O3. Satellite, what is it? Oxcliffe. The new Nova's around here somewhere. Somewhere around here it would have been. CAS 2021, something like that. Shot that already, shot that, the Wizard Nebula, shot the Lion Nebula. Caroline's Rose Cluster. Everything's suitable for the field of view of this telescope, really. Haven't shot that. Yeah. There's a few little bits around here either, because there's a nice little dark nebula here. It's cute. Draw that on the wall in hydrogen alpha. It's a fossil footprint. Yeah, so this time of year it's a bit difficult with the way all my obstructions are. For this side there's really not much at all now. We've pretty much completely lost Orion. It's now down behind the horizon. I'm looking forward to getting set up for doing galaxies in the future, hopefully. There's loads of stuff, nice stuff over here in Leo. It's absolutely packed with galaxies. If you turn up the hints, you can see that the place is absolutely just galaxies, thousands and thousands, especially in this area of the cluster. I think that's Markarian's chain there. Yeah, so I've shot that before. Those are multiple millions of light years. I think they average around 50 odd million light years among those ones. Wouldn't mind doing this little collection here. These are nice. What do they look like under the survey, the Deep Sky survey? Get that zoomed in so it goes as sharp as it could be. Yeah, it looks nice. So the last galaxy of Copeland. I've got a telescope I'm hoping to get my hands on soon. Bombed into this, so I can look at the. Oh no, I haven't got it on this one. It's on this. It's on Stellarium on my main computer, which would probably run a lot better anyway. What have we got on this? We've done 14 of 20 frames. It's better. What's that little connection? Moscow to Copeland, there it is. So I need LX200R with, there it is, the mid 6.3 reducer. So that'll be the field of view I get. That compared to my ED80, it's like, it's just a huge difference. That's with this, that's at f6.3 still as well, so it's about the same f ratio as I'm currently at. That's Hubble. It's ridiculous. We'll change it back over to my current camera. To my current telescope with the black on it and the reducer, and yeah, it's like this field of view. So yeah, focal length during galaxy season would help a lot. There's loads of cool stuff over here. 58's nice. Yeah, it's all around sort of between Virgo and Columbariensis is this just huge collection of galaxies. The blow dry galaxy is quite nice. Again, something that would be nice with a longer focal length. That looks like a starburst galaxy or something like that. Would be nice. I should imagine Hubble have a nice image of that. Probably look nice in there. So should we see, have a look, see what that looks like with the wide field 3 camera and a Hubble telescope without a reducer. Wow, yeah, so they'd even have to do a mosaic to get all of that. NGC 4302. Let's see what that looks like with Hubble then. NGC 4302 Hubble. We'll see if they've shot it. Well, because of course they have. That is beautiful. Let me just open this image in a minute. So try to find the positive. Wow, that's a big file. That'll look nice once we get that open. Let's bring that over here onto the main screen. Beautiful. So that's probably maybe a 3 or 4 panel mosaic. 4 panel mosaic probably. That's nice. Hubble is quite a machine. It's beautiful. Not sure if that's a starburst galaxy edge on there. Almost looks like a mini Milky Way, like if you zoom in. Almost looks like our view edge on. I mean, it is edge on, it's an edge on spiral galaxy by the looks of it. There's even these beautiful little spiral ones here. What's this here? That looks suspiciously round, like it could be an Einstein ring. Not sure actually. There's a lot going on in that Virgo area, that's for sure. Right, let's change the field of view back to my camera. My telescope. I feel better. We can get rid of this. How are we doing over on the imaging side of things? Almost done that, so we're to go and get the data soon, which will take 5 minutes. Let's get the. So I'll go and transfer the data from the observatory, bring it up here, and then we can have a look at see what we've got. So we'll do 3 separate images and then do a composite. Excuse me, a composite in Photoshop, which would be nice. So blue stacks is not maximised. Get rid of that. Bring that over here. Do actually. I know I can't do that because I'll get flagged. So to change the music, I'll get flagged for it unless I keep it on what I've got going there. There's 2 satellites in that shot there. Cool. So now the telescope will send itself home and warm the camera. Then we can shut down the observatory and take a look at the data. Cool. Right, now that's been parked, I'm going to go and collect our data and close the observatory, then we can take a look at what we've got and do a little bit of processing. So we can knock up a nice little Earthshine moon image. Right, if I leave that there then. BRB. And we're back. We have a cup of tea now. That's the data. Which one of these is my webcam? We can start for now. Right, so let's just take all this and put it in ingest folder. I need to name for the 2021. $300 MB a second, 200, 100, under 100. Don't need that no more. Could be closed. Assume that's gone to. Yes, so now we can open up. Let's open up Deep Sky Stack. What we'll do is we shall grab the picture files. And today grab all of them. I don't think we're going to bother doing any calibration frames on any of these because they're just going to be a background shot. So we'll check them all. We'll do some dark files because I've got in my dark library I've got 60-second ones at the right temperature, so I'll have those. So we've got 100 dark frames. Don't really need 100. I'm not even going to bother registering and stacking. But what we will do. Everything's okay there. Need more stars than that. Some dark frames. While that's working on that, I can open up AutoStack and we can have a look at the moon data. Right, so being ingest and today's, oops, yeah, today's data, first, analyse that. So we're stacking and we're in Deep Sky Stacker and analysing at the same time. My poor CPU. Yeah, that's weird. It's not really utilising it. It's seeing about 18% utilisation. You'd think there would be more. Pretty should have just selected 50 dark frames instead of 100 for 20 subs of 60-second frames. This streaming music's not too bad. I just picked a random one on YouTube. Apparently no copyright strikes. That's done that then. So I think what I'll do, I shall think, right, we've stack up set now. Yeah, quality's quite nice. 10% is good. Normalize stack. Saving folders. Cool. Let's see what it looks like. Blue. Drizzle off. We've got the raw stack of the light side in. I didn't want sequitur. Sequitur. Going for the light side. Well, that really hasn't got a clue what it's doing, does it? See what happens if I analyse it. Frames, number of frames. It's there. It'd be nice if I could see what I was doing. It's weird. Why is it off the edge of the frame? Let's move the other one. That's off the edge of the frame as well. Why is this? Why is this? That one. Yeah, it's not going to work like that. Well, that's interesting. By 1600. It's weird that it's just always that red. I'm wondering if, despite the region of interest I set was in the centre of the sensor. It seems like it's almost in the... I need to turn on hardware binning or something. That's that idea out the window. Not that it matters that much. So now we shall use Register X. That's not very well centered. Too much. Definitely too much. I think my preset looks fine. It's really annoying that's done that. So just a 16-bit TIFF. Seems to be working good. Don't want that. I'd really like to know where that saved up. Where's on disk deep Scott stack right here? Checked it even last time because I'm not Molly. That's more like it. It's the output, it's the proper place now. Yeah, that's right, 20 minutes. Steve's got a step. Cool. Now we can open that X inside. Let's just nuke it. Oh, let's not nuke it. Decalibration frames in it. Intensity transformations. Histogram transformation. Give this a very light stretch. Just a very light stretch though, not much. Just do a quick colour calibration on that. Better nuke it first. Can't do a colour calibration without doing a basic automatic background subtraction because I haven't used any light frames, flat frames on this. That's really not much better, although it does help at that level. Let's do right. It's more like it. I think I'm going to just add some saturation to them. It's the curse transformation. Right, so that's the background image. Pretty cool, that little globular cluster there. That's a cute little thing. Right, let's have a look at that open cluster as well. Yeah, that needs more than 60-second subs, I know that much. Right, so I'll save that in the same folder as a TIFF. 16-bit TIFF. And we can open yeah. Cool. Right. I don't really know how I'm going to do this. Yeah, that actually looks not too bad. Just invert that. It's probably about right, actually. Do not like. Idea of what it'd be like size-wise, to shrink that selection. Where's there? We've got a selection modifier, so we go modify, contract. So let's see what it does if I see. Pixels. Less than 10 pixels. 8. Still too aggressive. Still by follow and then feathering. Also gonna have to put that. I don't know how I'm going to get around this one because I haven't got that full moon in there, the full shape of it. It kind of seems a bit fake just to add a black circle. Would be shocking. Be behind that. I think I need to work on the lips on the back as well. Time and everything. Shit. It's not too much. So, sure. Need to actually match the size first. This is such bodgery. already know I'm not going to be as happy with this as a light. The moon is not perfectly round. I really wouldn't mind reducing the scale of that image. Just the limbs. That now. Let's rasterize it first. I can do it with see if I know what we're doing with that. It's weird. It's just black, but not like that. So what we do then, we use the colour dropper. So we take a 11 by 11 average around here, there, and then use that. That's a bit better. Control. Shift. This forms it. It's a bit nicer. Don't have to go a bit tighter in that actually. Don't go too tight because it becomes a little unrealistic then. A bit too unrealistic. It's also offset. You just kind of end up watching. Sort of stuff. I mean, they're composites anyway. It's gonna be a composite. Change the canvas size to the size. What's the size of this? Image size is in pixels. That's not it at all. I drizzled it, that's the problem. Drizzled it, I forgot to turn drizzle. So actually that is probably more representative. What about the image size of this one? Don't really mess around with the canvas size. We should get a preview of that. Okay. Happy with that. Flatten the image. Then select pixels. Text. That's not what I want. Do me a new from clipboard. Yes. There we go. Shame we couldn't get that earth shine though. I'll do. I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I'm not. It's about as good as that's going to get. So just looking at too terrible. Yeah, cool. Save and positive. Simple moon composite with the star background in 2 hours. Not too bad. So thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna log off this live stream now and post up the image. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.